Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be giving you guys an update on my eyeshadow roulette that I started last month. So I am here to give you an update on how I used those shadows, what my experience was like, and we'll be picking new eyeshadows today. So I'm going to leave timestamps down below if there's only certain portions of today's video that you are more interested in than others. But anyways, let's just go ahead and jump right on in. So eyeshadow roulette was a new concept to me. I've never tried something like that before where you randomly select eyeshadows to use. I have a pretty small eyeshadow collection. I don't have like a huge collection. I once did, but since I have, certainly pared down quite a bit. So last month I chose 3 eyeshadows to work on, and I want to talk about each of those individually. So the first one I want to talk about is kind of the most exciting color, I guess, and that is from my ColourPop Bare Necessities palette, and it's the shade called Fuzzy, which is an orange like foiled eyeshadow right down here. So I'm going to give you a swatch of that. And this I felt like was really appropriate for October, being Halloween and just the fall time. So this was a fun shadow to use. This is not one that I would typically like reach for on my own, I don't think, but I ended up really enjoying this. I used it on the outer third of my eyelid for quite a few looks with like a lighter gold. The rest of my lid, I used it on my lower lash line. The majority of the time I really liked that, adding a little pop of color there, but still some definition for the lower lash line. So this was super enjoyable. I have my statistics here, one second. So I ended up using the shade Fuzzy 5 times throughout the month of October that I actually tracked. Tracking how many times I used an eyeshadow is a new concept to me, so there is a chance I missed 1 or 2 applications, but I know for sure I used it 5 times. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I really enjoyed the shadow. The next eyeshadow I pulled is another one from my ColourPop palette, and it's the shade Taboo, which is this dark matte brown right here. And what you might be able to tell is there's a little bit of marking in there. I use this as an eyeliner for my upper lash line. So it's just a nice kind of chocolate brown shadow. I typically use a shade like this as a liner, and I will use setting spray on my flat liner brush from e.l.f. just like this to do my eyeliner, and that's exactly how I used it. I really didn't use it in any other way, and it looks like I tracked that I used it 7 times during the month of October. So I feel pretty good about that. I'm certainly not wearing makeup every single day, but pretty much when I was wearing an eyeshadow look that I wanted eyeliner for, this is what I was reaching for. Then the last shadow that I selected last time was from my Sultry palette, and I chose the shade Pearl, which is this shimmery, like kind of champagne shade here, and I actually hit pan on it, which I was not expecting. So hopefully you can see in there, this is a very crumbly shade. There's not a lot of like bonding factors in the eyeshadow, in my opinion. It doesn't hold itself together, so it was pretty easy to hit pan because I really was like digging in there. But the shadow itself is a really lovely bright white champagne shade. So it's right there on the bottom. I'm not even sure if you can see it other than the reflection there. And I would use this in the inner corner, or I'd also like to tap it on top of another eyeshadow on my lid, like just in the center of my lid or kind of closer to the inner corner, just to brighten it up a little bit. And I documented that I used it 9 times this month. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I was not expecting to hit pan, and a lot of the factor that I did hit pan is because it was kind of crumbling apart. Like, it wasn't true pan in my opinion, but I'm going to take it. So yeah, those are the 3 eyeshadows that I used this past month that I really enjoyed. I didn't have really any issues with them. Looking at my numbers here, in September, my pan percentage was 2%, and I still am at 2% in my pan percentage. But something that did happen this month that is exciting is in my Sultry palette, I finished up a shadow as well. So I finished up the Shadow Fresh. I've been working on this eyeshadow. It was a matte, like cream shadow, super easy. I've been using this one in my full face project pan. So I finally finished that one off, which is great. So I have one less eyeshadow pan in my collection at the moment. So that brings me into picking new eyeshadows. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at how many I have. I took fresh out because I don't have anything left in that eyeshadow. So it looks like I have a total of 48 eyeshadows. Like I said, I don't have a huge collection. So I'm going to go into my Pretty Random app and we're going to pick minimum of 1 through 48. And I think we're just going to go for it. Ready? Here we go. So I got 48, 18, and 19. So let's just go ahead and take a look at those. Starting, I'm going to go in the order that I pulled. So eyeshadow 48 is a single eyeshadow from Ulta. So it's this one right here. It's a white shadow. It's called Pure as Snow. And it's just a matte white eyeshadow. I have been using this for setting my eyeshadow primer. So this works really well. It is like white. So I don't know that this is like the perfect powder for this. I typically like a little bit more cream because this can be pretty bright, but that's okay. So that's it right there. For right now, that's a really easy one. So the next number I pulled was 18, and 18 is from the ColourPop Bare Necessities palette, and it's the shade Idle Hour, which is the first eyeshadow right here. So this one is a really soft, ooh, that's like buttery. Oh, I did this on the wrong finger. Oh my gosh. I'm like not very good at this right now. Let's try that again. So it's like a light gold champagne kind of shade. So it's right on top right here. I'm not sure if you're really going to be able to tell. It's obviously hitting the reflection there. But this would be a really nice like inner corner shadow or like on the lid to brighten up, kind of how I was using the shade Fresh. And then the last eyeshadow I rolled is the shade 19, which is the one next to this in the ColourPop palette called In the Buff, which is a matte kind of cream shade. So since I have a shade just like this in the Ulta single, I'm actually going to re-roll because I would use these in the same capacity and I just want something a little different, maybe if I can get it. So I'm going to say let's roll one more time to replace the eyeshadow 19. So we're going to go one more time and we got 38, which is the eyeshadow Tabloid, which is also in this palette. And Tabloid, okay, right down here. It's this matte brown, and it's kind of like a chestnutty brown, I would say. So let's get a swatch of that. Tabloid. Oh yeah, that's good. So that is it at the top. So it kind of has like a red orange pull to the brown, but I think that's really pretty and gives me a little bit more variety in the 3 shadows that I am picking here. So that is going to be my trio, and what I thought we could do is use them right now. I don't have any eyeshadow on my eyes at the moment, and I thought, well, why not just see what we pull and do a look together. So I'm going to put on some eye primer, and let's see where we go with this. So the first eyeshadow that I pulled, I'm going to be using the Pure as Snow to be setting my primer here. Okay. And then I think I'm going to use the shade Hustler, this kind of like cream orange shade, as my transition. So we'll just throw some of that in to the crease kind of transition area. So I've got something to blend against. So that's what we'll do here. My mirror a little bit closer. And then I think I'm going to go into the shade I pulled, that tabloid, the brown. And I think I want to use this in my crease, but I'm going to go in lightly because I don't know how dark or pigmented this is going to pull. So we're going to just ease on into this. Okay, that's not so bad. That's pretty good actually. So that's fun. Let's do this. I like that. And then I think for my lid, what do I want to do? I'm just looking at kind of all of the shadows I have in front of me here. I kind of want to see. I think I'm going to pull the shade Steampunk from the Sultry palette, which is this gold. I think that's kind of the direction I want to go in. Yeah, I like that. This is like more of an antique gold, I would say. It has kind of that green tinge to it, but in the best way possible, like not a bad green or anything. It's just not like a yellow gold in my opinion, or I guess how it's looking on my eyes anyway. Very nice. Okay, and then I'm going to use Idle Hour, which was kind of that light gold champagne shade that I pulled. And I'm going to put this, let's get a decent amount here. Put this on like the inner third and inner corner. Oh, I like that. And then I am going to do liner, and since I have my ColourPop palette open, oops, I'm just going to grab the Taboo shade that I was working on last month, the dark brown, because it's right here. Alright, and then I'm going to finish off by just using the Ulta Pure Snow again in the brow bone to kind of be a highlight. And that's going to be it. So this is the completed look. Kind of a fun thing. I know my selections here are pretty basic, but I'm happy with them. This brown I probably would not have gravitated towards on my own. So I'm excited to kind of work with that this month. And I think that having that brown there, it's still pretty warm. So if I wanted to go more orangey, I definitely could. So yeah, that's going to wrap up my, what's this called again? Eyeshadow Roulette. I hope you guys enjoyed. I would love to know if you are trying this out with your own collection. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.